So 2 different winners at Rockingham so far today, but who is going to take top honours in the final race? Round 6 coming up now.
Late afternoon sunshine here at Rockingham. It's been a beautiful day, certainly this afternoon. And let's take a look at the grid then. This is how they line up. Matt Neal on pole position. Paul O'Neill is alongside him on the front row. Then Tom Onslow-Cole and Tom Chilton in the 2 Team A on Fords. Andy Jordan is on row 3 with Matt Jackson in the first of the BMWs. There's another BMW right next door because it's Stephen Kane with Rob Collard behind him. Jason Plato starts 9th, James Nash is 10th. Then we've got Andy Neate and Alex McDowell in the second Silverline car. Gordon Shedden starts 13th place ahead of Matt Hamilton. Then Martin Johnson and David Pinkney. Arthur Forster in his BMW. Then Tom Boardman, who ended up in the barrier, of course. John George and Sean Hollenby complete the grid. Green flag from the back of the grid. Matt Neal is on pole position for the reverse grid. Race 3 here at Rockingham. Let's see how he gets off the line. Lights out, away we go, and it's a good start from Paul O'Neill on the outside of the front row, but Tom Onslow-Cole has also made a good start. It's going to be 3 abreast into turn 1. It's the focus of Tom Onslow-Cole that snatches the lead as they go through the first corner. The LPG power has certainly worked well there.
Yeah, there's another one up the inside of Matt Neal as well. Well, he was looking at it. Matt Neal may have outbraked himself here. Chilton's looking to get inside as well.
Oh, we've got Nash sideways. He gathers it together. Shedden has gained a couple of places already. Good start, I think, there. It's Tom Onslow-Cole leading. Second place at the moment is Matt Neal. The rest of them coming through. Everybody jostling for position. And there's Tom Chilton trying to squeeze past Paul O'Neill. Can he get it? I'm not sure he can. There's almost contact between them. And in fact, Chilton loses out. BMW going faster. Matt Jackson.
Yeah, that was Jackson round the outside. Very brave.
That's Alex McDowell off. Oh, that's a great shame. We've got more cars off. Chilton and Jackson, I think that is. We'll check that in a second as they come back round. But up front, Onslow-Cole under pressure from Matt Neal. Change of lead. Matt Neal retakes the lead. Onslow-Cole back to second, but for how long?
Yeah, that was typical what we expect with Matt Neal. Fight back immediately. He'd rather defend from the front than chase up behind those very quick Ford Focuses, but a very opportunist win, but we've lost one potential winner in Chilton already.
Yeah, definitely. So Matt Neal regains the lead once again. Tom Onslow-Cole is in second place. Paul O'Neill, despite all the franticness of that opening lap, is still holding on to third. Andrew Jordan is in fourth. Stephen Kane is fifth. Jason Plato in sixth. Gordon Shedden in seventh. Let's see what's been going on here, Tim.
Yeah, this is Chilton, and we've got this is Chilton attacking Paul O'Neill as they go round the right-hander. Jackson we're on board with, slips down the outside, but now he's on the outside as we go round this long left-hander. Chilton must be on the left somewhere, and there's the touch.
Yeah, so there was the contact between them. Tom Onslow-Cole, this was the move that he lost the lead to Matt Neal, and that's fairly simple, but Matt Neal will still have pressure on him as we continue. There's our race leader then. It is Matt Neal. Tom Onslow-Cole tucked in behind. Paul O'Neill in third. Andy Jordan in fourth.
Yeah, and Matt Jackson looks to have retired in the pits, as has Alex McDowell.
Yeah, great shame. Jackson is there, and that's a real blow to a potential championship contender. He came away from Thruxton with a good haul of points, but it hasn't happened here this weekend. And big rival Jason Plato, of course, is still in the points here. Dave Pinkney coming in as well.
Yeah. A few retirements at this third race, but it's very much game on at the front with Paul O'Neill and Andrew Jordan and Stephen Kane, all very close to the front.
Yep, Jason Plato 6th, Shedden is 7th, James Nash is in 8th currently, Andy Neate going well in 9th place, and Tom Boardman currently in 10th position. So we'll see if that changes as they come around past our position. It's still Matt Neal with the advantage. He's had a good lap there, opened up a lead of just under a second over Tom Onslow-Cole, but it was Paul O'Neill of the leaders who actually was fractionally the quicker.
Yeah, well, I have to say, Paul's got a very good chance as well in this now, with one of the Fords out and one of the quick BMWs is out. And we do know that Integra looks after its tyres brilliantly. It was always a strong point of the car. So Paul must fancy his chances. He's already on a podium, but he should be looking for more here.
Stephen Kane as well in the first of the BMWs. He won race 3 at Thruxton, of course, and he's well placed as well. He's in 5th position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's the BMW of Stephen Kane. Confident now that he's got that one win under his belt. It helps so much when you go on the attack again, and he's playing a patient game at the moment.
Yeah, he's going to wait and see what happens with the tyres on the front-wheel drive cars from halfway onwards. That's Plato with Shedden behind, and Plato has made his way through to 6th place, and I dare say we'll be hoping for a little bit more, but you can't relax with Shedden up behind him, and Nash.
Yeah, Nash going well at the moment. That car being repaired from earlier on, of course, with the contact with Tom Bourman. Behind Nash, you've then got Andy Neate. And this is the best run we've seen from Andy in the WSRMG so far. Good effort from him. Tom Bourman in 10th, Collard is 11th, Martin Johnson is in 12th, 13th for Matt Hamilton, 14th for Sean Hollenby, and then Arthur Forster is holding on to 15th place. So as they come around, we're on to lap 4 of 16. Plato not making much progress. He's got ballast on board, remember? Yeah,
he's got ballast on board, and the cars in front are lighter and have obviously got new tyres on, so they're going to make hay while the sun shines.
Here comes Shedden. Shedden's trying to get past Plato.
That's too quick.
Yeah, you were right, Tim. Well spotted.
A bit of a racing driver's sense there. You know, you could see the closing speed, and they just knew it was too quick.
Plato wisely backed out of it, and Shedden went straight on, so he's now lost the place to James Nash. Unusual for Shedden to make a mistake like that, really. But
yeah, it was. I think he was trying to maximise the opportunity he had, because he had a good run at Jason and perhaps took his eye off. As I said, it's very difficult to see where the corner is there, and just misjudged it. But Jason is hoping to look after his tyres and come back into it later in the race when the other cars start to struggle again. But
he may well do that.
It's not going to be easy.
No, but he may well do. He's been playing a pretty clever game, I think, so far this weekend. Let's see if he sustains it as he looks at protecting his championship lead, remember. There's the race leader, though. It is Matt Neal in the Honda. Of course, he and Jason have been such great rivals over the years. 2nd place still for Tom Onslow Cole. O'Neill in 3rd. Jordan, there he is, in 4th place. And they changed the car a bit. We remember in race 2 he had a strong start, lost a bit of speed as the front tyres went off. But actually, they've changed the car a bit. They're hoping that the front tyres are going to hold on a bit longer this time.
Yeah, Matt Neal sent 2 successive fastest laps, and he wants to know already what the gap is to Onslow Cole. He's asking what it is, and he was actually half a second quicker that lap. Yeah, so Matt Neal's going really quickly here at the moment. 25.066, excellent lap from Matt, and he's opened that gap up to 1.8 seconds, as you say. Paul O'Neill still holding on to 3rd place. Then Andrew Jordan in 4th. Stephen Kane still in 5th, and Jason Plato in 6th place. Somebody was a bit wide. I think it might have been Onslow Cole, but he's survived it. We're looking back from Matt Neal now as we look towards the Ford Focus of Tom Onslow Cole. Paul O'Neill was a tiny bit quicker as well than Onslow Cole, a 10th per second that lap, so he's on it. But let's go down to Simon Hill, who's with Matt Jackson in the pits.
Yeah, and understandably very upset, Matt Jackson. Tell us what your version of it was.
It's just frustrating, you know. We got a great start, and we were on for a good result. You know, to get pushed around, you're in a rear-wheel drive car, it's not an overtaking opportunity, and I don't know who it was, I think it was Tom, who was just buried underneath the rear bumper with his foot flat to the floor. You know, it's obviously his boost pressure's a little bit too much, and he can't handle it.
Rob Collard trying to get past Tom Bourman, but despite a little lock-up on the brake, wasn't able to do so. This is for 10th position. Tom holding on to 10th in the black Seat. Right behind him is Collard, who was very quick in race number 2, remember, but hasn't managed to make much progress yet. No, I'm sure he'll make a bit of progress later, but don't forget he also, like Plato's, carry ballast now, 36 kilos. So just wait to see how it goes later in the race. That's when the cars with good drivers who have managed the tyres and managed the weight will come through. Yeah, and as we know, this track is pretty hard on cars with ballast, and that seems to be the case again here. Plato not making the progress you might have thought, nor is Collard, but both of them, of course, carrying quite a lot of lead in their cars. So Tom Bourman doing a fine job so far, just protecting that position from Collard, but Collard definitely looking potentially quicker. It's just a question of where can he find the space to get past the car with the Union flag emblazoned on the roof. Very easy to identify Tom Bourman's car, there's no doubt about that. And look how close Collard is now as they come through Brook chicane and up onto the banking once more. If he gets a good exit here, he should be able to get him as they come around to complete another lap. Matt Neal's just completed 6 laps. We're on to lap 7 now. Matt's advantage up front, 2.2 seconds. Yeah, another couple of tenths eked out, and he's really doing well, Matt Neal. He's stretching it more than I thought he'd be able to. He's using his tyres at the moment to maximum advantage, but how long it'll hold on. Oh, Collard's gone through. Yeah, he's done it. That was pretty straightforward in the end as he got to Dean Hairpin, or has he? Because he's not completely finished it yet. I think he has, because he's on the inside for Yentwood. And Collard is therefore up into 10th position. Goes chasing after his own teammate, Andy Neate. But this is the battle that's going on for 4th place between Andrew Jordan in the Pertec car and Stephen Kane in the other Airways BMW. We've lost Matt Jackson, of course, from this race already, as we heard, but this is a good, strong battle for 4th. And this is where, again, the BMW, as the race progresses, does have a slight advantage. And again, Andrew Jordan will do his utmost to keep him behind, I'm sure.
Yeah, Stephen Kane driving very maturely this time, and you know, he's back with the team that he loves, his second chance, if you like, and he's making the most of it.
Yeah, it's good to see, isn't it? Lovely, and that victory last time out really will have helped him. Andrew Jordan almost taken to the grass to get as wide an entry as possible into the chicane. Stephen's got a good run, but then Jordan, remember, has got the turbo power of this new generation touring car engine, and it's pretty good off the corners.
Well, actually, what happened there was what happened to Collard to the back of Plato at the end of second race. He ran into the back of him just on the exit and actually almost got brake tested him, just lost his momentum.
Yeah, that was probably Kane's mistake as much as anything. But Andrew Jordan holding on to 4th place at the moment from Stephen Kane. Jason Plato, a slight rear brake lock-up, but nothing untoward. Right behind them now. He's definitely closed that gap a little bit, Plato. And then behind Plato, it's Shedden, Nash and Neate. Neate's hanging on to those guys as we ride on board with Jason. And they certainly use the curb and a bit more here at Rockingham.
Yeah, very tight, holding the car very tight. Oh, big slide there from Stephen Kane. He just ran wide, and the grip goes away very quickly as soon as you run wide there, and that will have given his tyres a little bit of stress. See if he can pull it back, tidy it up. You've got to do that. But yeah, just a moment offline, and you get into the dirty part of the track.
Yeah, it is amazing, isn't it? You only need to get a wheel or two off, slightly offline, and you get onto the muck here, and makes the car slide around a great deal. Down into Tarzan hairpin. Plato's certainly not close enough to challenge. Kane can use the curb quite nicely, so the car really soaking up the little bumps on the curb means he can use a bit more width of road effectively. Nice view as he comes down into the Brook chicane, where really is only room for one car at a time, but we've seen them try plenty of occasions to get 3 abreast through there, haven't we?
Yeah, that means nothing to touring car drivers, does it?
Actually, it was coming down to that corner in a way that Plato threw away his chances last year. That challenge on Turkington, when then he pushed Turkington straight.
Yeah, very much so, and when it comes down to the end of the race, anything can happen, but I still think Plato's driving a canny race here, and just gradually picking up pace.
Now then, let's see what's going on here. Rob Collard coming up behind. No, this is Andy Neate actually behind James Nash. Collard has still got to catch these guys up. And this is a good competitive run from Andy Neate in car 44 into his first full season of British touring cars. He's been hoping to do this for years. Now he's really got the opportunity, and now he just seems to be getting up to speed with the car, which is great, because I think at Thruxton it was all happening for him a bit quickly. Now he seems to be much more in command of what's happening.
Yeah, don't forget these guys can't test between races either, so the only time they get in the seat time is actually at the meetings. So you know, I think we're going to see Andy just grow into the car more and more.
Yeah, he's getting the mileage, which is what he needs in the car at the moment. So this is good stuff.
Well, we're at the halfway stage now, so midway through the race.
Matt Neal leads this race by 3 seconds from Paul O'Neill in 3rd position. We've got Andy Jordan in 4th, Stephen Kane in 5th, and then Jason Plato in 6th place. Shedden still in 7th, ahead of James Nash and Andy Neate. Rob Collard holding on to 10th place. Still looking at this battle for 8th place at the moment as we look back from James Nash.
Well, the gap's still going up at the front. Matt Neal really extending the lead now, 3.7 seconds the gap.
Yeah, that's right. And Matt Neal's looking very, very comfortable out in front of this race at the moment, as he looks to try and take a 2nd win here today. Giovanardi, of course, took 2 wins at Thruxton. Meanwhile, Stephen Kane is getting very close to the back of Andrew Jordan once again. This is for 4th position. And Jordan so far fending off that BMW, but now you get to feel that perhaps the BMW really is coming into its own, and now there should be an opportunity. That was where Kane had a slide a lap or 2 ago.
Yeah, just something hanging down at the back of the car.
Right.
Look, you just see something hanging down there. I'm not sure if that's the exhaust or the rear bumper, but something is hanging down quite badly at the back of that car.
That might not be helping.
No, it certainly won't help on the straight, that's for sure. Look, you see that? Look, it's on the left-hand side. Is it a bit of an under tray or?
Yeah, difficult to make it out.
Might be the exhaust, but Stephen Kane is now really putting the pressure on.
Yeah, that's right. It's on Jordan's car that there's something a little bit.
Watch the front of Jordan's car. When he brakes, it really dips massively.
Yeah, I was watching that earlier.
A lot of that means the car's very soft on the front, which he's probably doing to control the extra weight of that turbo engine. But a lot of movement on the front suspension, and that was a good exit there from Stephen Kane. He timed that just right.
But can he still get the draft that he needs here and the run through turn 1 to be able to challenge into Dean Hairpin? He's not really quite close enough as they come through the banked turn here on the Rockingham Oval. And unless he gets a bit closer, surely he won't be able to dive up the inside again. That dip. Oh, he's locked up. Kane has locked up. Jordan locks up a little bit. He's gathered it back together, but Plato's close behind them.
Well, Stephen did well to come off the brakes very quickly there and just recover some retardation from the wheel, but he might have flat spotted his tyre.
He's also picking up dirt again, isn't he? So he's got to be careful, particularly through this right-hander. That's where he had a big slide earlier on, but he holds it together nicely this time, doesn't run too wide, and still follows in the wheel tracks of Andrew Jordan, who's doing a very good defensive job here, not doing anything wrong, just putting his car in exactly the right place and stopping Kane from coming through. Plato not really able to close that gap significantly, still carrying the maximum ballast, of course. Behind Plato, little gap back to Shedden, then Nash, then Neat, and Collard rounds out the top 10.
Yeah, there's absolutely no visible dive on the front of the BMW in comparison to the battle for second now with Tom Onslow Cole and Paul O'Neill.
Yeah, this is good stuff. Onslow Cole still in second place. Paul O'Neill, though, right behind him. And here comes O'Neill, and there is a real difference in lines coming out of that Brook chicane. But it means that Onslow Cole still has the inside. Paul O'Neill up on the outside, separated by 18 thousandths of a second as they went over the line. But Onslow Cole still has the advantage.
Yeah, look at the speed of that Ford, because he certainly did come out of the corner very quickly. And we know the Integra actually is very quick in a straight line. But maybe Paul, as we suggested, has looked after his tyres well and now has better, look at that, can hold a tighter line, get the power down earlier. Needs to get past quickly though, otherwise Jordan and Kane are going to be all over the back.
He's trying to cut back, he's trying to
Good move, great move.
Yeah, has he got the overlap? I think he might have done if he brakes deep. Yes, he has. Lovely stuff into second place for Paul O'Neill. Second position in the sunshine.co.uk car. He's had a third already this year. He had a third last year at Snetterton, but it has been a long time since he's had a second place, and he did that beautifully.
Yeah, it's really hard to time that switch back as Stephen Kane still looks at Jordan. Really hard to do that with enough momentum to come out the corner quickly. Just perfect as he swapped across the back of Onslow Cole's bonnet. Their car bumper, there can't have been more than a couple of inches in it.
No, and still Stephen Kane can't get past that Vauxhall of Andrew Jordan. Again, he gets a good run out of the hairpin, but Jason Plato's not far behind as well. Jordan's just able still to hold his line into the chicane. Still no way for Stephen Kane, and Jason Plato looking ever more threatening here.
Yeah, it's like I said, isn't it? They're going to all concertina together at the end of the race, and somehow Jason's going to pick up some places.
12 laps have been completed. We go on to lap 13. Matt Neal is the race leader by 5.8 seconds from Paul O'Neill now in second position. Onslow Cole in third, Jordan in fourth, Kane in fifth, and then here we are riding with Jason Plato. He's in sixth. Watch out for the tyre smoke as they come up to the hairpin, and you can bet there's going to be some yet, but they all hold their line for the moment. Andrew Jordan trying not to run too wide.
There was a contact there between Stephen Kane and Jordan as Jordan came back across the track.
Shedden's
been off, yeah.
Saw something in the background. Yeah, he was battling with Collard, so I don't quite know what happened there. But back with Plato once again. You're riding with the Chevrolet of Jason Plato, winner of race 2 here today. Championship leader now, not wanting to put his car in a dangerous position with just a week to go to Brands Hatch. Plato wants to go there as championship leader and with a car in one piece. He will be aware of that as he follows the battle between Andrew Jordan and Stephen Kane.
Yeah, Andrew Jordan just driving the defensive lines absolutely everywhere now, which is allowing it's allowing Kane to be all over the back of him, but he can't find the right side of the track to be on. He's on the wrong side again now.
Well, hey, how we
try side by side. He's braked very late, can't turn in. He's still side by side.
Oh,
just ducked out of it.
Wonderful. Really good racing, but he might lose momentum to Plato. I think he's still got a good run, actually. He didn't lose too much momentum. That was clever from Stephen Kane. Good attempt. Wasn't quite going to happen, though. Onslow Cole still in third place. Jordan in fourth. Stephen Kane in fifth. Jason Plato. Collard is up to seventh now. So let's just take a look back. Was this the incident, Collard and Shedden? Yes, it was. The end of the incident.
Yeah, unfortunate there was some tyres there, because that was a front end impact. And just in front of this, Paul O'Neill is lapping 1 second quicker than leader Matt Neal.
Yeah, that's impressive. But meanwhile, still look back at that little attempted manoeuvre, Tim.
Yeah, a little bit too much brakes on the front as well. He could probably just wind the bias a little bit back, but he's never going to get past there.
So no change in that situation. Andrew Jordan in the Pertec car is still holding on to 4th. Stephen Kane in the Airwaves BMW right behind him. Jason Plato in on the fun as well. Out in front, Matt Neal has a 4.9 second advantage. So Matt Neal is flying here. There is our race leader. He can afford to back off a bit, Tim, because he's got such a big lead.
Yeah, and I'm sure he is. He's just bringing it back now. He's been monitoring the gap every lap on his radio to Father Steve to get the gap to the car behind, and he's really driven very well. I mean, whatever changes they made to that car for this race, it's managed its tyres much, much better.
Stephen Kane still looking to try and find a way past Jordan, but doesn't get as alongside as he did last time around. He was looking for that inside line, but Jordan wasn't going to give it to him. Jason Plato still tucked in behind. As they come around this time, it'll be to go on to lap 15 out of 16. And it's still all to play for in this battle for 4th position in particular. Andrew Jordan holds 4th, Stephen Kane in 5th place, on board with Plato in 6th. Now, what kind of a run has Plato got going here? Pretty fast, but he's not close enough, is he? Closes up under braking. Almost had to move out of the way to avoid running into the rear
bumper. He was starting to move out of the way, wasn't he? Rather than run into the back of him. But Stephen Kane is still all over Andrew Jordan, who I think has driven very well, because his car's really not looking too good at the moment.
No, and look, they're all catching up to Tom Onslow-Cole again.
Yeah, well, don't forget Onslow-Cole was holding them up when Paul O'Neill was behind him, so we know he's got his own problems.
Oh, Jordan's gone wide. Jordan went wide there. It might be Stephen Kane through. He just put a wheel on the dirt. Oh, and he'd driven so well to hold it. He just put a wheel on the dirt, and that was it. Stephen Kane, well placed, and got past him.
Now Stephen needs to defend now. Don't give Jordan the opportunity to fight back, and he doesn't.
Oh, tough racing, but that was a tiny error. I mean, a minuscule error by Andrew Jordan, but he just put a wheel over the edge. Take a look at this, Tim.
Coming round the long left-hander here, he runs wide, just runs wide. Well, in fact, Kane's got underneath him already, and very good driving, just superior grip there for the BMW.
Well, as we expected, the BMW looking after its tyres well in the latter stages. It's a bit of rubber maybe being thrown around, but Matt Neal has a very comfortable advantage. We're on the final lap. Matt Neal's advantage, some 5.2 seconds. Paul O'Neill is in a remarkable 2nd position, remember, at the moment, if he can hold on to that. Onslow-Cole could still be under a bit of threat himself. Then it's Stephen Kane, and then Andrew Jordan, and Jason Plato in behind there. We'll just watch them through. Oh, there's been a bit of a...
Onslow-Cole must have run straight on, because now Kane's in 3rd place.
So that's changed it again. Kane into 3rd, Jordan into 4th, Plato into 5th with Collard behind him.
Yeah, Collard's made good progress, and he's trying to grab that place off Plato, who won't want to give it up.
Remember these two on the last lap of the 2nd race. Collard tried to get past.
Oh, no!
Oh, I thought that was going to be tears.
Well, Rob locked up and drove over the grass to avoid contact, but, you know, Jason was always going to turn in on the line there, but boy, that was close.
It was, but I wonder if Collard's going to find a way past. He didn't manage it in the last lap of...
Oh, sideways, look! 2 big slides for Collard. And blown it.
Yeah, he's lost several car lengths as a result of that. Tom Onslow-Cole behind him. It looks like Matt Neal is going to come to a relatively uncontested win in this 6th round of the championship. And he becomes our 2nd double winner this year. Giovanardi did it at Thruxton, but now it's another double champion who comes through to take 2 wins here at Rockingham today. But what about this for 2nd place? The sunshine.co.uk car of Paul O'Neill takes 2nd. Stephen Kane, of course, takes 3rd. Then it's Jordan, then it's Plato, just ahead of Collard. Collard tried everything there on that last lap. Coming through, Nash in 8th, Neat in 9th place. Onslow-Cole did finish in 7th in the end, and Tom Borman held 10th. Let's just see. Yeah, let's just see if we can get a quick word with him. That was a great run by Matt. Matt, I don't know if you can hear me. This is Ben in the box, but that was a great drive, Matt, and you made it look so easy.
I'm glad you think so, mate. I was thinking, where are the BMs? I kept on looking around.
You seem to have made massive strides with this car over the winter, Matt. What's the secret?
Ben, I just think they've tried to look at every area. You know, they've been flat out on the aero side, Neil Brown on the engine side. You know, mechanically, I mean, they've worked tirelessly through the winter, and well, 2 wins is fab, mate. I'm over the moon.
What a contrast to last year. You didn't get a finish in any of them, did you, last year here?
I know, mate, yeah. Contrast to Thruxton as well.
Great stuff. Well done to Matt Neal then. And, well, Honda Racing, Tim, you've got to say, big challenges for the championship, the way that car's going.
Very much so. Matt's got that championship impetus back behind him, and he's going to be Jason Plato's thorn in the side. It may not have Giovanardi, but we've got another double champion there to take the fight to Plato. And hats off to Team Dynamics. They've done a really good job today.
Winner by 5.4 seconds from a brilliant Paul O'Neill. Stephen Kane in third, then Andrew Jordan in fourth ahead of Jason Plato. Rob Collard fought his way to sixth, seventh for Tom Onslow-Cole. James Nash finished eighth ahead of Andy Neate and Tom Boardman. Outside the top 10, Martin Johnson and Matt Hamilton, then Arthur Forster and Sean Hollenby with John George. Then Gordon Shedden out of the race towards the end. Matt Jackson out earlier on, so was Alex McDowell, Tom Chilton and Dave Pinkney. So it's been an impressive 2 wins out of 3 races for Matt Neal. We'll hear from him after the break.
So plenty to celebrate for Matt Neal and the Dynamics Honda team. Victory in round 6, his second win of the day here at Rockingham.
I've just doubled my tally of the last how many years in one weekend. And it was unexpected. I thought the Fords were going to have us down the straights. I thought the BMs were going to have us in the second half. And it's great to see him, Integra in second place as well, junior.
Your great mate Paul in second place. But listen, you kind of made it look easy. I mean, really dominated that race. It looked easy from the outside, but what was it like from inside the cockpit?
I knew the start was paramount, and I messed that up.
You did.
And to have any chance, I've got to make a break at the start, because the car is really strong at the start. And I managed to do Tom into the second hairpin, and that was it.
Sunshine just did a mega job. I am so pleased. And Caney, my old housemate for 3 years, come alongside me. How's about that then, mate? Come here, sweetheart.
Listen, every podium means a lot to every driver, but they always seem to mean a lot more to you as well, don't they?
Yeah, it's because I'm in an old car now. You know, I love motorsport. I watched, grew up watching these guys. He's not 29, he's 40, so don't listen to him. But, it's all good. What a podium, my best buddies, I'm made up for them, it's grand.
Well, let's grab a word with your other best buddy, Stephen Kane, just to tell us a bit about your race.
It was very, very difficult. Got a good start again, and just seemed to keep out of trouble. I sort of looked after my tyres at the start, and then from that point on, it was a bit of a struggle. We had an oil pressure alarm on the car, and but we just kept on going. David told me to keep on going. He had the car in Cooper BMW last week, so he said not to damage it, and it's going again this week. So.
Well, that result has given you the lead in the Independence Championship, so that's good news.
I didn't know that.
It looks like a surprise to you.
Listen, I just go to each race, try and get the best result we can. We're here to win races, and I think if we can keep on that path, not get too flustered about the championship, and then see where we are at the end.
If I'm really honest, we just haven't got the car where we want it yet. We're not. I don't think struggling is the right expression, but we just haven't got things where we want. So. There's a bit more of a drop-off than I want, and the car won't do exactly what I want it to do. But, it's a long old year.
This race got a good start, probably picked about 4 cars off by the time I got onto the turning where I got knocked off. Halfway around the corner, and just literally T-bone you. Like, they'd never get around the corner, they just drive straight into the side of you, bang, straight off the circuit. Smash the car to pieces.
Now, obviously a very short turnaround time to Brands Hatch. You think the guys are going to be able to get it sorted?
To be honest, mate, I don't think I'll even bother turning up anymore because they're just full of a load of idiots.
Sounded like this race didn't exactly start the way you'd have liked.
No, unfortunately, the organisers have put a longer first gear on the BMWs to penalise us, and that was the first time pulling away of any weight in the car, and the car just stalled on the grid. You're in 8,500 revs and dropped the clutch, and the car just stalled. It's a really, really hard thing that the organisers have done, and it's hurting all the BMWs.
Now go to Brands Hatch GP next, and obviously triple victory last time you're there. What's your thoughts on that with this new car?
Very much looking forward to it. It's a great circuit. We all love to race around there. Whether or not we'll have a dominant time as we did last year remains to be seen. I think our car will be good there. We'll have to wait and see.
So let's have a look at the drivers' standings. Jason Plato still leads the championship. It's a pretty healthy lead as well, but the battle for second place is much closer. Just 4 points between Matt Neal in second place and Paul O'Neill in fourth. Airwaves BMW lead the team championship. They've got 80 points. The Racing Silverline Chevys are lying second, but in the manufacturer standings, it's the Chevys leading on 118 points. Honda Dynamics make it to a century here at Rockingham. So 2 wins for Matt Neal here at Rockingham, but Jason Plato is still the man to catch in the championship. Join us again for the next round at Brands Hatch next week. Until then, bye-bye.